Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at Lycanroc VMAX. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lycanroc's getting a VMAX, and I am kind of into it. Shout out to the lovely Antoine Boulet for providing our translations. So starting off with the Pokemon V then, what do we see? We got 200 HP, which for a non-supporting Pokemon V, we see some support ones with really low HP. For a non-supporting Pokemon V, this is very much on the lower end. It's not making us terribly happy. We've got a retreat cost of 1, which is nice and low, which does make us very happy. And a weakness to grass, which is honestly fine. Like grass decks, just especially post-rotation, they're not looking like powerhouses. That might change down the road, and if it does, yay for grass. As it stands at the moment, maybe Leafeon VMAX. There is a genuine chance that Leafeon VMAX does actually end up being a really good card going forward, so maybe that's one you should be looking out for. But you're a fighting Pokemon, which means you're hitting weakness against stuff like Gengar and Crobat. And this is very, very nice indeed. So what do we see? Well, the first attack, we don't need no translation, ladies and gentlemen. 1 fighting energy, 40 damage. And the deal here basically is, if you're hitting for weakness, yay! If you're not hitting for weakness, boo! There we go. You see, if you come against an evolving Pokemon that you can hit for weakness, you're going to be getting a one-hit KO here, and that's lovely. You'll be doing 80 damage. Your evolving Pokemon generally do have 80 HP or less, normally 70. But here, I don't know how many of them are in the format at the moment. And that's a problem. You know, grass Pokemon, I'd be like, hey, Galarian Zigzagoon! But that's not the case at the moment. So, yeah. I mean, I like it as a single energy basic Pokemon. I like being able to get damage on the board nice and early. That makes me very happy indeed. I like a lot of things about this. I just don't particularly like only doing 40. But again, there's going to be plenty of times, where it's turn 1, you've gone second, you can attack, you don't really have any other attack you'd rather use instead, and then you go, oh, alright. That'll do. Why not? And for that, I don't hate it. The main attack here is free energy, 200 damage. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Now, you're not a single strike or a rapid strike Pokemon, so those kind of energy acceleration things are gone, which means you're a fighting Pokemon needing energy acceleration. And that ain't easy nowadays. Now, we do have the supporter card B, that will absolutely let you accelerate energy. That's the one, when you play it, you discard the top 5 cards of your deck and attach any energy cards, fighting or otherwise, to your benched fighting Pokemon in any way that you like. So in this way, you could absolutely start building up a Lycanroc. But, yeah. Unfortunately, this is another one of those, I don't really know how the energy's getting on here. Fighting Pokemon have struggled with lack of energy acceleration a lot. And that's a bit of a problem. And to be honest, 200 damage isn't quite enough. Sure, it'll get your weaker support Pokemon, things along the lines of Cricketune. But really, Pokemon V, there is a number. Numbers are important, right? And one of the big key numbers in the Pokemon TCG is 220. 220 is, outside of those weird big Pokemon Vs, I'm getting all of them and I'm getting all the relevant ones, 220 is absolutely the number. You aren't hitting 220, you're hitting 200. So, yeah. It's awkward to accelerate the energy, and I don't think you're even really doing enough when you get there. If we only had a Pokemon V, if this didn't have a VMAX, I would not be saying nice things about it, despite the fact that I quite like Lycanroc as a Pokemon. Also, my 3-year-old daughter just turned 3. She has just started watching the Pokemon anime, and she likes Rockruff, but she is convinced the name is Ruffruff. And I'm like, no, daughter, it's Rockruff. And she's like, no, Daddy, it's Ruffruff. And I want to put her, do you know who I am? But it's my 3-year-old daughter. And also, she really doesn't care about what I do for a living at this stage, although she likes my love of Pokemon. So, apparently, it's called Ruffruff now, and there's nothing I can do about it. My daughter has decreed it. But speaking of rough, it evolves into Lycanroc. Lycanroc can VMAX. What do we see? 320 HP, which is about standard, not particularly high or particularly low. Retreat cost of 1 is nice and low, and grass, again, you're only really worried about Leafeon, so you'll be fine. Now, this is where it gets proper interesting. For 1 fighting energy, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon with 60 or less HP remaining. That Pokemon is now knocked out. Instant, automatic, 1-hit KO on any Pokemon with 60 HP or less remaining. Now, against some decks, you can really have a good time. Like, if your opponent's rocking a Frostmoth deck, this will get you a KO on a Snom. Which I adore. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Snom, but just the thought of this amuses me greatly. And the fact of the matter is, if you go first, you will get to evolve before your opponent. Which means your opponent has to bench 2 Snom, or you can guarantee to get the easy KO. You don't need to do any gusting or any of that. It can't be protected on the bench or any of that garbage. I mean, there are a few cards here and there, but it will just get a KO. And that's lovely. It's not damage, it's not dropping damage counters. It is just an instant, automatic 1-hit KO. Now, 60 is extremely relevant, and again, the card designers don't do this accidentally. They don't pick numbers out of hats. These numbers are chosen for very specific reasons. And the reason it is 60 is because 70 would be amazing. Proper job, over the top, amazing. Because the vast majority of evolving Pokemon have around about 70 HP nowadays, and also because you've got things like Jirachi, which has 70 HP, Galarian Zigzagoon, which has 70 HP. So you are going to be able to get some easy KOs if you can drop 10 damage. Well, that's where your own Galarian Zigzagoon comes in. And incidentally, I think Galarian Zigzagoon Scoop Up Net is going to be amazing here, because you can just drop extra damage and get instant KOs. So if your opponent drops a Zigzagoon, you drop one, boom, instant KO. But now we need to look at the card that might be, it's definitely one of the 2 best cards in Chilling Reign. It could well end up being the best. It is the Inteleon. Now, I know that Inteleon is a Stage 2 Pokemon, but I also know that Mustard can be used. And I also know that this is winning a lot, and I mean a lot, over in Japan, in a whole variety of different decks. Quite simply, we don't need to ask the whole, oh, will Inteleon work? Inteleon will work. There have been way too many different lists winning in Japan for us to even entertain the idea that it won't work. As far as I'm concerned, we have confirmed it will work. That is a thing. And this drops 2 damage counters. And it stacks, so you can have multiple Inteleon and do this multiple times. And now we are really rolling. Because if you can have, say 2 Inteleon out, then all of a sudden anything with 100 or less HP will be instantly KO'd. And no, you're not getting big 1-hit KOs on Vs and VMAXs. That I don't think is a hook of Lycanroc. It's not really what Lycanroc is meant to do. What Lycanroc is meant to do is be a support Pokemon, an alternate attacker, something there to help. And that will work very nicely indeed. It's only a single energy attack, so whenever your opponent has a Pokemon that fits 60 HP or less, boom, instant KO. You play it with Inteleon, and what you could do here is just build it up over a couple of turns. No, you're not getting a 1-hit KO on that Crobat on the bench, but that Crobat ain't going anywhere. So, as soon as you've used Inteleon's ability 6 times, Crobat has 60 HP remaining and it's a 1-hit KO. And fine, I know it's, 6 Inteleon abilities, but the thing is, you can be using other Pokemon and rocking along doing other things, and then just bring in this Lycanroc to get the KO when you need it. How many times have we seen a game that has come down to, if I draw boss's orders, I win, but I've only got 1 turn, or I've only got until my opponent draws boss's orders, or something like that. We have seen a million games along those lines. Because there have been a million games along those lines. But in a lot of those games, there's a tiny Pokemon on the bench which is almost KO'd. Lycanroc will win that game. I adore this attack. I could see this being a 1-1 or 2-2 line in a bunch of decks just for this first attack. Now, as for the second attack, free energy, 190 plus 30 to one of your opponent's bench. It's fine. But we've got that same issue of accelerating the energy because it's not single strike, not rapid strike, etc. And it's fighting is a bit awkward. And 30 to the bench is nice, but I don't see this as a, hey, let's set up the first attack. We have better ways to set up the first attack, as I've already outlined. Having said that, this will get a one-hit KO on support Pokemon, like Kricketune. And because of weakness, it'll get a one-hit KO on something like a Gengar, very easily. So, if you're playing this anyway, there is a possibility of kind of stashing energy on this, working up to it over a couple of turns, and then bringing out the big KO. And I don't necessarily think it's the best thing ever, but I absolutely do think that we've got some fun that can be had here. I'm not loving this for the second attack. I think it's fine. I think it's a nice bonus, but I don't think it's anything more than that. But I absolutely am adoring this for the first attack. I love this Pokemon. I don't really like the V, and I don't really like the second attack. All I really like about it is the first attack, but you know what? That first attack is so gosh darn good, I don't even feel bad about that, ladies and gentlemen. This makes me very happy indeed. I'm going to go ahead and give this 4 Wassies because I really do think that first attack has redonkulous potential. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.